And I'm Wood.
And welcome to
Cooking with Class.
So today we are going to be making a favorite of ours, which is our homemade pizza.
Very good. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the dough first, and then showing you the various toppings that you can put on it and how to bake it, and then we will finish it off with
some homemade, home-sliced French fries.
Yes, sounds like a great show today, Bob.
It's going to be really great. I'm excited.
Fantastic. To start off the dough, you have to put 1.5 cups of warm water into a big bowl.
Alright, so here's 1.
That's a good cup of water you have there, Bob.
Thank you. And I'm just going to, guesstimate.
Yeah, estimation's good.
About half.
Nice.
So 1.5 cups of filtered wooden water.
And then you're going to need 1 packet of yeast. Has to be active. So make sure you check those expiration dates. And then these packages are hard to open, let me tell you. Typically there's a rip here, but they're hard to see.
Alright, so you're just going to pour that into your 1.5 cups of water. Interesting.
And you're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're going to want the yeast to absorb the water. So it all...
That's kind of how it works, but you really want the yeast to dissolve into the water.
No, absorb into the water.
So let that sit for about 5 minutes, and then add in 3.5 cups of bread flour. All-purpose flour will work fine, but the crust gets nice and crispy when it's a bread flour. This part can be a little messy, so make sure you do it over the bowl.
Or the sink.
Or the sink, which probably would have been a good idea.
Alright, so after you add your bread flour, you're going to want to mix that in again to your water, yeast, and flour mixture. You did a thing.
Sorry. That looks like it should be good.
That looks awesome, actually.
And then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So you're just going to want to add that right on in. 1, 2. Good, Robin. And I don't mean you personally.
Of course not.
And then you're going to want 1 teaspoon of sugar. Sprinkle that on in there.
So once you add all of your flavors,
and then you're going to need 2 teaspoons, of salt.
Once you add in all your flavors, this is the fun part. You're going to want to roll up your sleeves a little bit. And really get in there if you want the full needed experience. Now, when you're done adding everything, just for a visual, this is what your dough is going to look like. Okay?
Approximately.
You're going to want to knead that, but the secret with kneading pizza dough, or any dough at that, is you don't want to overwork it, or it will become tough and hard to, spread out into your pizza shape. So you're just going to want to get in there. Just kind of make sure everything is spread out evenly.
Yep. And then you're going to want to take out some saran wrap. And you're going to want to put the dough in the bowl.
In the bowl or in the bowl?
In the bowl. Oh, that looks good, Robin. I wish I could knead dough like you. And then you're going to want to cover the bowl with saran wrap. Perfect. And then you're going to want to put it in the sun for about 1.5 hours, or until the dough becomes twice the size of what it was.
So, alright, so after your 1.5 hours of rising is done, you're going to remove your dough from the sunlight and take it out.
You're going to want to flour your surface just a bit so it doesn't stick. The same flour should do very well. And you're just going to want to keep flattening.
Now remember what I said earlier about over kneading it. What was it?
Remember, constantly flip it. And if you're Italian, you can really...
We are really doing well with the no mess thing earlier. And okay, so one thing that you're going to notice as you're kneading it out.
Lots of bubbles.
Lots of bubbles.
You're going to want to pop those so they don't explode in the oven.
Right. You don't need to worry too much about all of the bubbles, but the big bubbles are the ones that you're going to want to get out. That's just not right.
And you can also get out a rolling pin, which may help you out a little bit. Not looking good.
Okay. So once you are finished popping off the bubbles and have spread out your pizza into the desired shape, we just...
about 10 to 12 inches in diameter.
Yeah, we went with the classic circle, but you can go with really anything.
And then you're going to want to get out all of your toppings. Right now, and we really only have one pizza, I think we should just make it like half sausage cheese, half like tomato and fresh mozzarella. Drop in.
One thing that... Here. Now, while Z is getting our ingredients out...
No, I'm wood.
You're Z.
No, but when I introduce myself, I'm wood.
Oh, right. Bob Wood. Oh. I'm good. Hi, I'm Bob, and I'm Z.
Wood.
You're right.
So now that you have all your ingredients, we're going to do half of this pizza as cheese and pepperoni, and half of it as fresh mozzarella and on-the-vine tomatoes.
Now, one thing that you need to remember is when you are spreading it out, you want to make your dough very even in height, so it cooks evenly. But one thing that me and Wood like to do is we like to leave the edges of our crust a little bit thicker, so it gives you a nice, almost a bowl to spread out your toppings.
So, we're going to put sauce on half of the pizza to start. And you can really just use a spoon to spread it around.
You're supposed to use a ladle.
But it's not big enough quite for a ladle. But we can use the ladle if you really want. Okay, you can use the ladle if you really want.
Am I only doing half?
Yeah. And then, we just get some store-bought mozzarella cheese. Sargento is my preferred brand. As you all know, I'm not a fan of generic. So, you know. Then you're just going to sprinkle really as much cheese as you want on top.
This is really starting to come together.
Yes, I agree, Beth. And that looks nice.
Now, we're going to do medium sauce, medium cheese, just to do a good middleman, but I know
It's not the proper
a
term.
lot of people love
But
a lot of cheese or a little bit of sauce, or a lot of sauce or a little bit of cheese. It's all up to your preference.
and we're actually going to put some pepperoni on because we're fancy.
Because
you know?
why not?
So we just bought some pepperoni because we don't really know how to make pepperoni, as I don't think it's...
But we did look into it. So
We did not look into it. So I'm just going to put on an ample supply of pepperoni. Sometimes you can make it look like a face. Sometimes you can just put it down. Who knows? But this is what we're going to do.
there's a world of possibilities.
So, what do you think, Robin? Does that look like enough?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So
So-
now we're going to do the second half of our pizza.
But not put any sauce on, because that's not what we're going to do. You're going to get the olive oil and put a tiny bit on the other side. This is going to be a fresh margarita half. So just a tiny bit of olive oil on there. And Robin, I'm just going to use my hands to spread it around. Nice and gently. Spread that around. And honestly, that looks really good. Looks like there's a eyelash in it, but it looks good. So, now, you're going to want to put your store-bought cheese away and get out your fresh mozzarella. Now, we get these little balls, but any size ball is good. Now, we're going to need a knife for this activity.
you're going to want to cut up your mozzarella balls into even sizes and spread them throughout your pizza, almost like you did with pepperoni.
So you can really just put it on anywhere you would like. And it is very easy to cut because it's nice and thin. Soft.
And it's a soft cheese, which is
Okay.
helpful.
And we're going to put on one more ball here, as we don't want to overcoat it because we still need to get on the tomatoes. So, really I think one tomato should do because we're only doing a half, but if you would like more, feel free. So, I'm just going to slice this tomato right here. And you're going to want a sharp knife because tomatoes are very soft. So cut them as thick as you would like or as thin as you want. We'll never know. So all you kids watching, you should really help your parents with this step. But
No, your
not
parents should help you.
Your parents should help you with this step as the knife may be sharp. So you're going to want to put the tomatoes anyway, I think a little thinner. Would you agree?
Definitely thinner.
Okay. So the kids out there, leave this step to your parents as you want to be really careful with the knife. So just put that tomato on wherever you would like, Bob. I'm going to let you do that. Nice. That's good. And try not to make a mess out of the tomato because it is very easy to do so.
As we are noticing now. Actually, one more thing.
Okay, that looks good.
That looks delicious.
Okay, very nice.
I wish we put this on a pan before we made it.
Me too, Bob. However, now you're going to want to have your oven preheated to 450 degrees.
Which we already did.
Which we have already done to save the time for you. And you're going to want the oven to be on for about a half hour once it's preheated, just to keep the oven nice and warm. So now you're really going to have to transfer your pizza onto something like this. However, you're not going to be cooking on this, as you're going to be cooking on a pizza stone, which is already in the oven. You can get it at really any store that sells cookware, or Bed Bath & Beyond is where I personally get mine.
It's very possible to cook it on, say, a cookie sheet, but we've noticed that the pizza stone provides us with the best results.
Yes, yes. And also, one extra step you can do is if you just put a little bit of olive oil on your fingers, like so, just a tiny bit.
Comes.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And rub it in a little bit, and just lightly stroke the crust.
Or what your crust will be. It will really help with the burning. You do not want it to burn.
And it'll help just bake it to perfection.
Yeah.
So, you're going to want to transfer it
Do we want to,
onto a cookie sheet, or circular sheet, however you like. This step, you might actually want a flipper.
spatula.
Spatula, as it may be a bit tricky, as we are now noticing. You really just have to do your best here.
Alright, so we're gonna put this right here. And we're just gonna slowly transfer it.
And we don't want the two sides to mix. I think we should put the sauce side on first. So if we put the cookie sheet over here, Bob.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
That wasn't that bad.
And now, once it's on, you may have to
Rearrange.
rearrange your toppings, as during the transfer they tend to slip.
Honestly, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Amy, good for us, Bob. Okay, so then just open up your oven, and you're really going to want to just slip that pizza right onto the pizza stone.
Which would be a lot easier if we used flour, but we'll use Pam.
As I believe Pam is also a good alternative.
But you know, he thought wrong.
Love to tell, don't criticize. And you're going to want to cook that pizza for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the cheese is nice and golden brown.
Now we're going to start on our homemade potatoes.
So,
Potatoes, French fries. Potato French fries.
This is very simple. You're going to want to just cut off the very ends, like so. Good,
It was a thicker potato.
It was a bit thicker. Now, you're just going to want to slice into the potato. Oh, not like that. You're going to want to slice into the potato, make them really thin, but don't go all the way through. Don't go all the way through. I know it's tricky, but you really just got to learn how to do it. Which it appears some of us are having more trouble than others. I was very clear when I said not to cut all the way through.
I got it now.
Okay, that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to cut mine off there. So you can kind of fan it out, as you can see. Now, you're going to want to do a few just very small cuts this way. Just not even more than 1/4 of an inch through. And kids, get your parents for this part, as it is a bit tricky and handles a sharp knife.
Yeah, this is very tricky.
Even for adults, such as Robin, who is hardly an adult, did not seem to get it right. Now that's looking good. Well, mine is.
Got it.
Now you can really just kind of pull apart a little bit to get some space in between them. Whatever you have to do, just make some space in between them. Now, you're going to want to season them how you like. I'm just going to do a little bit of salt,
Do you have Old Bay's?
a little bit of olive oil in there. You're actually going to need a decent amount of olive oil in this. Now, we have to open up the fresh bottle. Just for you guys, those viewers out there. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Because I know I am. You too, Robin, right?
I love this.
Yes. We both agree that this is a lot of fun to film and a lot of fun to eat,
When we get to eat it.
which is every time.
Every time.
Now, just a bit of olive oil. That looks good. You really want it to soak into the tater. That looks good, Robin. That looks delicious. Now, you might want to just dab out the extra. And I personally like some pepper on it. What about you, Robin?
I think pepper sounds good. I still have to put my salt on.
I believe I already did.
Yeah, but not really.
Okay. So, now some pepper. Make it look really good.
Mmm.
What else would you like on it, Robin?
Do you have Old Bay's?
I will check the pantry. I do not. I do have Old Bay. As previously said, Old Bay's. It is actually Old Bay.
It is also tomato.
As we sprinkle some Old Bay on it, it looks delicious.
Really good. Alright, so
So now, you're going to want to get out a cooking sheet. And as it's already oiled, you don't have to do much. Just place it on. And then we're going to pop that in the oven. The pizza's looking good, Robin.
oh wow, it really is looking good.
And now you're going to want to put that in there for, I'm going to say, about 35 minutes. However, you're going to want to make sure that the potato is not too hard.
Yeah, you have to. It's really about the softness of the potato.
Yes, so we will leave you with that for now and get back to you once everything is done cooking. Now, you're going to want to get a pizza wheel and cut your pizza. And just cut it.
Mmm.
And we like our pizza nice and crispy.
Mmm. So 4 even slices.
Four slices.
Alright, Z, do you want the first bite?
I'd love it. Now, you want it to cool down first. However,
However.
To the back of
Ready? Oh my god. It is so hot.
So we're gonna let it cool. Okay, so now we're gonna take out the potatoes. It should look something like this.
Yum.
Delicious. Now you're probably going to want those to cool, and make sure they're cooked all the way through. These certainly are not,
These are not cooked all the way through.
considering they're still cooking when you put them down on the pan. Delicious.
That's a raw potato!
So now we're going to try this pizza. We're going to try the margarita side,
Mm.
as it looks a little bit less black.
Cheers.
It's so hot.
I burned my tongue.
Delicious.
Mm. Yummy.
Well, good job, Bob. Another episode of Cooking with Class.
Should I turn it off?
Yeah.
No, we actually do that.
Well, exactly, if you just bite the top, that's kind of good. There you go. So, now we're going to start with the dough. Robin, can you please get the dough and I will get the flour?